Welcome back, guys. Today we're gonna discuss the importance of creating fat on top of the muscles. Still, like a ripped guy like this one, he still needs fat because honestly, having muscles this well indicated, it just looks ridiculous. So I'm gonna show you guys the importance of adding fat on top. So let's start with just some like simple changes on the chest muscles right here. So I'm gonna take off the alpha and use very low intensity and just sculpt over like this to add a little bit of fat. Then the striation is gonna be stronger towards this part here, and if he's flexing, it's also gonna be pretty strong right here. But not too often it's gonna show on this like entire side. So as we added some like geometry, we also gonna like smooth out to make it look more natural. We're gonna do the same thing this lower right here. This is just muscle striation, and we're just gonna add some fat on top. So that already looks way more realistic. So it's really important because, and if you look at the abs right here, nobody has abs like this, and this is really common mistakes I see people create in the beginning, including myself. I made muscles so clear that you could see them from a mile away, kinda. Uh, so we're just gonna remove some of this. And you can clearly see I'm just adding some fat, and then I'm gonna smooth it out a little bit. Just because you don't get like all these cavities doesn't mean you can't have sharpness in some areas, but you need to be more careful where you are using it. Just gonna add some fat here, top of the lines, something like that, so it then just can smooth it out a little bit. Something like that looks way more natural. Actually want to add a little bit more fat in the corner right here and smoothing it out just a little bit extra. And here we can then see the arms. Yeah, I don't really know where to begin, guys. Even not like bodybuilders like Arnold Schwarzenegger had this defined arm muscle, so let's add some fat on top of it so we can make it look more realistic. So adding some fat right here. And fat like this is super important also in like fantasy creatures and characters like sculpted Venom. You still need to add fat because otherwise it's gonna look very unrealistic, very weird. So be sure to add some fat, guys. Smoothing it out towards the corner, and right here, this part, usually not this like well defined this muscle, but it's a bodybuilder, this kinda, so it's gonna be very well defined. But make sure that's not like a cavity down like this, guys. So don't indicate it too clearly. Just adding fat here. This part of the muscle often just blend in towards the arm like this, and we're just gonna add some more. Using just the clay build-up brush and then smoothing out on top. Just here, everything is gonna be like kind of like smooth together, so we're just gonna smooth everything together like this. And now we're just gonna add some more volume towards the end here, and then smoothing the rest out. We can see, guys, that the arm start looks way more natural. It looks less like clay or CG, if you would like to say it so. So bodybuilders want as like low fat as possible, but no human can have 0% body fat. So always make sure to add a little bit of fat, even if it's like just 2% body fat. Just gonna smooth it out a little bit and then define the muscles a little bit. But now we got rid of some of the like sharpness that we needed. So I'm gonna show you guys how to add that back. Like underneath the chest right here, especially on a bodybuilder like this, you can add some really clear sharpness. Just to make the overall chest, the muscles are a little bit more like visible. Then in between here, use a bigger brush to just indicate like this big cavity right here, and then smooth it out a little bit, and you get a little bit more sharpness. And it still looks pretty natural. And then, let's see guys. Okay. I think that was pretty much it. I just wanted to really quickly show you guys the importance of adding fat to your characters. So be sure to add not a lot of fat, but at least like I would recommend like 10% body fat or something, if it's not like a bodybuilder like this. So if this guy, like, everybody got abs, but he maybe is a little bit more fat right now, so just adding this like volume right here to get rid of all these like super defined shapes. You can always start with anatomy base, but make sure that you put fat on top of it. And then if it's a lot of fat around the chest area, this sharp line right here would disappear. So it needs to be less sharp, but it's gonna be sharp still like around here, because the folds are going to be like meeting somewhere around there. You can see guys, he looks like he has gained a little bit of weight, but it looks like more natural, more like a human being. And we can do that same thing on the shoulders, just adding fat around here, especially around this area. Keep it sharp like closest here, but you can add fat in this area right here. And this muscle right here, really important to indicate a lot of fat on top of here. It's almost gonna go like a line in between here, so this muscle kind of like shoulder and the forearm muscle is gonna kind of like blend together like one giant muscle. That's still separate muscle, but they just gonna like, okay, oh, here I forgot about this, so I'm just gonna smooth it out a little bit so it looks a little bit nicer. And then just sculpt the fat back on the tricep, something like, or back, yeah, just sculpt the overall fat on top. And then be important that if you have like a lot of fat like this, or a lot of fat, yes, some little fat, make sure that you have some like clear visual point to look at. If I just show you like this guy, like you like this, there ain't so much of like interest, so like make sure to like exaggerate like the belly button or something, so it's got some interest about it. Just gonna exaggerate that so it's a little bit more interesting, and maybe like take a standard brush and just exaggerate some of the shapes. But that was pretty much it guys. I hope you liked this video. If you do, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to vote for the next tutorial or tips and tricks, go to my Instagram. I'm gonna be linking it down in the description. Otherwise, my name is Sculpture for Life here on YouTube and on Instagram. So I see you next time, guys. Bye bye.